Save 80% of your development time after watching this video by using these concepts. Hey everyone, my name is Ankur Padya, and today we are going to create an inventory management system. Before that, if you just want the class diagram and the code, you can find GitHub link into the description. And it is also helpful into the system design round in the interviews. So how can we save our 80% of your time? That we from requirement gathering, we are creating the class diagrams. So in the class diagram, we specify all the roles and responsibility to the class and relationship between the classes. And if I want to add anything new functionality, like I want to email the invoice, so I can easily integrate into the class diagram and later I can implement into the code, so which saves our lots of time. So let's understand how can we create the class diagram from the requirement gathering. I want to create an application just like the Blinkit or the Zepto. So how it's going to work? Suppose user open the app. In when user open the app, it shows some products like the Kit Kat or Pepsi. So how these products came from? So there is some warehouses. So it will take the nearest warehouse which have the all the inventories, which means like there is warehouse one, warehouse two, and there can be the multiple warehouses at the nearest location. So it checks the device location and find out the nearest warehouse. So it's not possible that it took one KitKat from this warehouse and one Pepsi from this warehouse. So all the products are shown from the single warehouse. After that, user add to cart. So how I'm going to store the cart? To storing the cart, I'm just using the map. In that, I'm using the category ID. What is a category? And after that we will see later. And what is count? So I need two things. First is is the KitKat ID, and also the count. I'm just using the two KitKats. So the category ID for the KitKat will be one, and I want two items. So let's understand the inventory management system first. So how the inventory will managed. So into the warehouse, if I'm looking to the warehouse class, so in the warehouse we have two things. First is inventory into the warehouse, and second one is address of the warehouse. So all the warehouses have these things. After that, if I'm going to the inventory, into the inventory, we can have the multiple categories like the some shelves. In that we have stored the items, like we have the KitKat. KitKat have 30 rupees and ID will be one, and there is five KitKat packets available. There is two Pepsi available. Sorry, the category ID for the Pepsi will be two, and the price of the Pepsi will be 50. And there's five bottles of the Pepsi available. If I'm talking about Dettol, Dettol have the three ID, and name is Dettol and price is 55. And there is two Dettol soaps are available. How to create the class diagram for this? So let's understand the procedure first. So after adding into the cart, then user place the order. What we want, like I want to add two KitKats. So when order is placed, so I want to add this two products, two packets of KitKat into the user and remove from the inventory. So inventory will be updated, and whenever new user comes, it will show the inventory. So these are requirements. So how can we achieve that? So first, let me create the warehouse. So warehouse have what the properties that warehouse is carry is first is inventory and second one is address. So into the inventory we have uh, in the warehouse we have the inventory at the address, and let me talk about the inventory. Into the inventory we have the multiple products like the KitKat, Pepsi, and the Dettol. And what are the roles and responsibility that inventory can have is, if I want to add any category, like I want to add one more category, or it's called Maggie, okay, and the price will be Maggie will be the 30 rupees. So if I want to create the category, so the responsibilities lie on the inventory. So because it has the list of the products. After that, if I want to add any product, like I want to add two Maggie packets, so I need the category ID will be 4 and the products. Okay, so inventory will find out with the product ID that KitKat has that Pepsi Dettol, and then it will find out 4 ID will be matched with the Maggie, so it will add item into it. Also, as I already told you that we want to remove the items when order is placed, like I want to remove 2 KitKats. So these responsibility are you know done by the this category class, should be done by this category class because this category have the access. But if take an example like you are going to get an admission to the school, or admission, school want to remove any, I want to change the school. So I'm not directly sit down to the class where I want to go. I'm just tell to the administrator first, then administrator send me to the principal, and principal will send me to the class teacher. So class teacher will add or remove the students. So that's the same thing we are on to perform. So warehouse have the function to remove the item from the inventory, and because we are using the you know storing the map to handle the cart, so that's why we are using the map into the warehouse to removing the item. After that, we have inventory. We will check the inventory like I want 1 and 2, which means I have category ID match with the KitKat and I want 2 KitKat. So inventory will check which category is match. After that, it the category will remove the product. So that's the thing we are going to perform. So first, let me create a warehouse class. For creating the warehouse class, we have the inventory and the address. Let's see. We have the inventory and the address. But as the roles and responsibility, remove item from the inventory and add items from the inventory. As I already told you that if I want to add item into the directly into the inventory, suppose payment get failed. Okay, I pick this 2 item and payment get failed. So I want to push back to the inventory. So that's why we are make this method into the warehouse, because we are not directly access this product or category. That's why we assign this responsibility to the warehouse class. After that, we have the inventory. So if we see the inventory, so if you visualize a thing, you can solve the, understand which are the classes we have to make. As you can see this in the inventory, we have the multiple categories. So these are the categories like the KitKat and all these things. So what are the roles and responsibility for the inventory can have is that warehouse give one responsibility to remove the items after the placing order. So there's remove item responsibility that inventory have. It will find out the, as we know that in the map we have the ID, so it will check match the ID like 1 and it will remove 2 items. So that's the responsibility of the inventory class. After that, it has the list of the product categories. Okay, and if I want to add any category, so as I created a Maggie, so we can add the category. After that, if I want to add any product into the category, as I added into the Maggie, so these are the all responsibility of inventory class. So we already discussed all these things. So we have the list of the product categories, and add category, add products we have, and we are just passing the product as I already told you, and the category ID. For creating the category, we need 3 things. What the 3 things we need is category ID, name, and the price. Okay, so that's how we can create the category. After that, we have remove items that pass from this warehouse. So this remove item from the inventory is passed in this inventory, and get category from ID. So if I want to get any category, like I want to find out, I have category ID 1. Okay, which the category is available. So KitKat is available for the 1. After that, we have the product category. So if we go deep down in that, so what the category have, it has category ID, it has name, it has price, and the list of the products. Okay, and what are the roles and responsibility? If I want to, the inventory will pass the responsibility to remove the item. So this product category will remove the item. So as we know that in the map we are just passing the ID and the quantity like two. Okay, so I have to remove two items. So I'm just creating a loop. So we don't have any product ID to remove. Which ID we are going to remove? We can pick any item and going to remove. So that's how we can do it. So I just take it one. If it sounds confusing, I will show you the actual code so you can understand it. Okay. So we understand that how can we create the category and what and into the product we have the product ID and the product name. So let's see into the product category. So as you can see this, we have category ID, price, name, and the list of the products. And we have add product and the remove product item. So in that we have the count, how much products we are going to remove. After that, if you see this diamond symbol, fill diamond symbol, which means it is a has a relationship. Also, it's a composition. What does mean the composition means if there is no product category, if I tell you that if product category is destroy, if I delete the product category, so all the products are automatically get destroyed. So we don't have to give extra effort to remove the items into the product category. Also, it has the one-to-many relationship. What does it mean that in one product category there can be the multiple products. So we are using the list. So where we are using the list, we are using the one-to-many relationship, and where we use the one-to-one, like in the warehouse we are using the only one inventory. So in that we have the one-to-one relationship. So after that, let's do some code. So I already do the code to save the time. After that, we need product ID and product name. And for the initializing, I'm just using the constructor. So it's a very simple code. I hope you understand. After that, we have the product category. Into the product category, we have the product category ID, price, name, and the product list. So as you can see this, we have all these things, and we initialize. And we already know that we are using the composition, which means if there is no inventory, so there is no category, or if there is no product category, there is no product. So that's why I'm using the initialization into the constructor and initialize all the items. So if this product category is going to delete, the all products will be automatically get deleted. After that, we have add product. So we can easily add the product, and we have the remove product. So as we already know that we know that I have to remove the KitKat, and currently we are in the KitKat because it's a category. Okay, so we don't need the category ID, and we just need the number of count I have to remove. So in the list, I just remove the first element every time. So that's how we manage the products into the product category. After that, we have the inventory. You can see this in the inventory. In the inventory, if we see the class diagram, so we don't need to take much headache when we write the code. We just see the class diagram. So there is a list of product category. So as you can see, it's a list and initialize, and there is a composition. So if there is you know no inventory, there is no product category. So after that, I have add category. Okay, in that I'm just taking the category ID, name, and the price. Add product into the particular category. As I already told you that if I want to add the 2 Maggie packets into the this category, so I just need the category ID, which is 4, and the products. It will check in which we have to add the product. Okay. After that, we have the warehouse. In terms of warehouse, we have the inventory and the address. For creating the address, we have the address class. This is address class. I'm just using the pin code, city, and the address. After that, uh, I'm just creating the object of the inventory, and it has a responsibility of removing item from the inventory and add item to the inventory. So let's write down the code and see the thing. So we already know that how can we add category product. For adding the product, what we need actually, we need to add the product to the particular category. So we have category ID 4, and I have to add with this match with the Maggie. So these are the products. There's the two products I'm going to add. So there is a product I added, and we will find that product that match with the category ID. So there is a list, and we find out the category ID, and after that we get the category, and then we are called the add product, which is available into the product category class. Okay, after that I have to create a warehouse, and for the warehouse I have to create the address. For address we have pin code, city, and the state. I'm going to initialize it. After that we need to create the warehouse. So if I see the class diagram, I have two inventory and address. So there is inventory and the address, and initialize it, and because there is a composition. After that, we need two functions: remove item from the category, add item to the category. This is your homework. If you, how can we integrate it? Remove thing I'm done by myself, and you can create add item category by yourself. After that, we have print inventory. If I want to print that, I already mentioned to the inventory. So as you can see this, we already have the list, and I'm just creating a loop and print all the details. So how easy it is to manage all the responsibilities, we already understand. And after that, I'm just adding the warehouse. So I just create the warehouse, then inventory, and into the inventory, I'm just adding the category. There's two category, Pepsi and the Kit Kat. After that, I'm just add the product to the particular category. Like I'm just adding one, two, three. Uh, Two items into the Pepsi and one item to the Kit Kat. Okay. After that, let me print the inventory. So we have the warehouse class, warehouse dot print inventory. So let me run this code and see the output. As you can see this, we have two Pepsi and the one Kit Kat. So that's how we can create the inventory. After that, I have to create the order management. To create the order management, what I have to do is perform the next operation. So if you, as I already told you that if you can visualize the thing, you can create the class or the responsibility very easily. So there is some user who open the app, and it show the list of the products or the product categories, and then it add them into the cart which have the map, and after placing the order, it will you know uh, do some payments, address or invoice thing into the order class. So let's create the user class first and then create the cart. So this is our user class. So in that user class, we have the cart and we have the order, and we have the one-to-one relationship between the user and the orders, and one-to-one relationship between the cart. And it's a composition, means the user owns the life cycle of the cart. What it's mean, like there is a user named Ankur, and there is a cart. So whatever the items I add into the cart, it remains private for the user, and also it has a order list. So all the orders from the user Ankur we get into the user class. After that, if we see the cart class, into the cart class we have the map. Into we are storing the category ID and the number of count. So for adding the count, we have add to cart. Into add to cart, we need category ID and the count. For removing the product, we need the same. We can empty cart and get items from the cart. And this cart class owns by the user class. If there is no user, there is no cart. After that, we have the order list. Order list have the order IDs, and what the user class can have the get user cart and the get order list. So let's see the coding part. So this is the cart class. We have the map where we're going to store the category ID and the number of count. In that, I have to add the cart. So when I'm going to add the cart, I'm just passing the category ID and the count. So it will check if KitKat ID have one. So it will one already present, and I add another quantity. So it will check the quantity and increment into it. Otherwise, it will add it. So I just check that because it's contain only one single key for the one value. Okay, so we have product ID, and we update the value and increment the count. Otherwise, I'm just adding it and set the count. After that, we have the remove item from the count. So we are doing the same thing. If the previous count means this count and our current count that we are going to remove is less than or equals to 0, it means I have to remove the this entry from the map. Otherwise, I'm just decrement the quantity. After that, if I want to empty the cart, I'm just reinitialize the map. After that, if I want the cart, so I'm just pass this map. Okay. After that, we have the user class because user on these things. So I'm just creating the address. Address is nothing but have the all this city or state called things. After that, we have the user ID and the username. So suppose so this is a one user ID and the name is Ankur. And after that, we have the cart details. As you can see this, we have the cart and we have the order list. So means from the order ID, we can get the orders. And because user own these things, so that's why if user is not available, so cart is destroyed and the order list going to destroy. And we have the method called get user cart. After that, I have to create an order because I have to create and place an order. For creating an order, what we need the items that I added into cart. So I just need a map. So we have that map and the user, delivery address of the user, the payment we are going to use, the warehouse because warehouse have this category related details. If I pass the category, it will give me the name and all things. After that, we have the invoice. If I want to print the invoice, so in the order class, I just pass the user and the warehouse. So I'm just pass the user and the address. So address is get from the user. So user dot get address I'm use. After that, because I want to use the cart map and user have on the cart. So user dot get user cart and I'm use this map. After that, I'm just getting the warehouse and make the payment. For making the payment, I'm just using the payment class and I'm using the UPI mode. What it's mean? Let's understand it. We the order class have the payment class, and payments have the payment mode, and which has the method called make payment. And after that, I'm creating an interface called payment mode, and we can choose any cash payment on UPI payment, and we can add any kind of payment that I already tell you into the strategy design pattern. If you not yet watched, you can watch this video. So in the payment class, if we go through the payment class, so you can see this. We have this payment mode. Okay. After that, we have make payment method, and I'm just integrate it with the UPI payment mode, and doing some logic. And just add the return true means payment is done. And in the payment class, we are doing all these operations. Okay. And these payment classes are called from the This payment class are called from the order class. So why we need all this thing? Because order have the responsibility to check out. So how can we check out? So first of all, we are going to update the inventory. What it means when we use a click to the checkout, we remove the item from the inventory like this. I'm just removing the item and add to the order. After that, I'm just make payment. If payment gets successful, user cart will be empty and this order will be placed to the user side. Otherwise, if not possible, then these items is again get back to the inventory. So this the checkout logic we have implemented. And after that, if I want to print the invoice, for printing the invoice, I need a invoice class. As you can see in the order, we have the invoice class and it has a generate invoice. So I'm just name it as a print invoice. You can change the name, but I just suggest you don't change the name. So you can directly uh, copy the code directly from the class diagram. After that, I'm just invoice and the invoice. I'm just print the invoice and order have the warehouse and warehouse have all the details you want and it has all the category IDs and the count so we can find out the total price and print them. Okay, so that's how the invoice class going to work and we are done with our order placing an order or order management system and let me show you like, I'm just creating a class product delivery system. In that I do all these things like user open the app. So this is our user and after that we get the warehouse. So I'm just get the nearest warehouse. So we get the nearest warehouse and how we get the warehouse. So let me show you the warehouse thing as well. So I'm just creating the warehouse controller and for getting it, I'm just using the warehouse selection strategy and I'm using the abstract class. So this is the abstract class which is have the method called select warehouse. In that we have the list of the warehouse, and from this list I'm just get this. Don't worry, I'm just teach you that how can we use this after completing the user sessions. So we get the warehouse. So we get the nearest warehouse. You can use any other strategy as well. After that, just printing the inventory. After that, user select any item. So user select the item and add them into the cart. For adding the cart, I pass the category ID and the quantity. So category ID one have the KitKat and I'm just selecting the two KitKats. Or in that case, we have the Pepsi. Or after that, I'm just placing an order. And for placing the order, I'm just using the user and the warehouse and then click on the checkout. As I already told you that what happened into the checkout. So if I'm going to the checkout, it will remove inventory from the warehouse first and then make a payment. If payment is successful, it will remove the cart. So that's our all order system will going to execute. After that, we need all other things as well. Like I want to create a user or I want to delete a user. I want to get a user. So for managing all these things, I just create a top class over it, which is user controller. In that we have the user list, and in that I'm using the simple line, which means I'm getting the user list from the like the API or somewhere else. Okay, show you the user controller. So I'm not initializing the user list. I'm just set the data from it, which means if there is no user controller, there can be the list of the user presented. Okay. After that, we have the method called add user, remove user, and the get user. So we have the list and we have the add the user into the current list, or we can remove the user. And if we want to get the user, so we can get very easily. After that, we have the multiple warehouses. So for that, I'm just created a warehouse controller So into the warehouse controller, we have the list of the warehouses, all the warehouse list. As you can see this, there is a multiple warehouses. So all the lists are presented into the warehouse. And if I want to create a new warehouse, so I can add into the present list. And if I want to remove the warehouse, we can use it. If we want to select the warehouse, for selection the warehouse, we need a algorithm or the strategy. So I'm just using the warehouse selection strategy. So this is the abstract class I already told you, and I just implement this abstract class and giving the first warehouse list. You can perform your own logic over here. So our warehouse controller is done. After that, I'm just using the order controller. Into the order controller, we can have the multiple orders. So that's why I'm just using the list of the order and the map of like in that we have user ID and the orders list. So we can create any new order or all these things. We can remove the order whatever we want. We can control by this class. Okay. After that, because if you watch all this, you know, system, these are controlled by this user controller, order controller, and the warehouse controller. So for controlling this thing, I just create a perform the operations. I'm just using the product delivery system. So this is our product delivery system. Let me show you. In that, I'm just use all these controllers, and in this, I'm just get the user, get the warehouse, and all these things. In the place order, I'm just get the user, get this warehouse, and after that, I'm just going to print the inventory, or then I'm just perform the operations like I already told you that add to the cart, then place an order, then checkout, then print the invoice. So let me run this code and see the output. I know this is the invoice for the product for the two Pepsi. We have 100 rupees and tax it will take 10 rupees. That I already tell you that in invoice. I'm just added that tax as well. So 10% tax. So this is how you can create an inventory system. I know it will little bit looks like the little bit tricky, but it's very easy if you understand it. You can create any kind of system, any kind of application in any kind of programming language. So that's a very simple thing, and you can perform any kind of things, and every class have their own responsibilities. That's make this system design so cool. So if you have any confusion, any doubts, you can ask me into the comments, and feel free to give me the suggestions. So thank you so much for today's video.